That's another question.
Now, scientists here in Britain are joining global efforts to produce meat in laboratories. Some of them are at Bath University. They've grown meat cells on blades of grass. They're now trying to see if they can reproduce that on an industrial scale, and the motivation is really twofold: to help address food security issues and to help address climate change. Here's the lead researcher.
Our population as a planet is growing, and our current food production methods will not scale to produce what we need to feed everybody. I think we need something like an additional 60 million tonnes of protein to feed the population by 2050, and we can't do that like we currently do. So this cultured meat is a way to do that. It can be done anywhere in the world. It can be done where it's really hot or where it's really cold.
Now, lab-grown meat's not expected to be available for a number of years. This is one picture showing scientists growing animal stem cells to start the process of making artificial meat. But this is also relevant. A study from Oxford University which has found that lab-grown meat may actually be worse for climate change than meat. Here's Helen Briggs on how those Bath University researchers responded to these concerns.
We don't really know yet because this meat is not yet in production. Now, the report you're referring to was one from the University of Oxford, and I spoke to the scientist myself about that, and he said cultured meat might be one of those promising alternatives to reduce agricultural emissions, but until we get more production data, we can't automatically assume that for the time being, because we don't know how energy intensive it's going to be to take cells from an animal and raise them outside of an animal and grow them up in big vats, in big bioreactors.
On the face of it, that's not an unreasonable point, saying judge us when we've scaled this up. But the follow-on question would be, well, when would we be in a situation where we could judge it?
That's right. There's a lot of hype and noise around this, but there is real progress being made from scientists. And there are some firms in the US who say that they're quite close to actually having a product. You've even had a few products tasted by journalists, things like chicken nuggets grown from the feather of a chicken. So the reports aren't that great yet, because one of the things is that you're growing them up from, say, muscle cells, but not from... You haven't got all those other things that give meat its taste and its texture. And so now the work is on actually how you grow something like a steak or like a chop in a lab. So it means not just muscle cells, but it means fat cells, it means connective tissue to get that sort of taste and texture. And the work they're doing in the UK is very much based on muscle. And they say you're going to end up with some sort of mince from this that might go into, say, meatballs or burgers. But we're not really there yet in terms of a complete product that like you get now on the supermarket shelves.
But if we did get there, if they got to the point where they thought, OK, this is a product that we think we can market to people, which we would like them to eat and enjoy, are they allowed to do it? Are you allowed to create this kind of stuff and stick it on the supermarket shelves?
Well, there will be all sorts of regulatory hurdles ahead in terms of how you regulate this, and what you actually, how you grow it, what's going into the cell medium, if you like, that you grow these cells in. So it's quite a long way away in terms of that. And the other question really is, will people want to eat it? You know, how much will it cost? What will it taste like? And will people feel that it's somehow unnatural? So all those sorts of questions are really being raised now, because you can see some of these products, and for many people they don't look too appetizing yet, but there's huge interest in this area. So I think most people are confident that this will happen. It is possible for scientists to do this. There's a lot more work to be done, and it will be a few years away, possibly. But it looks very much like there will be a day when we're eating lab-grown meat, for those who want to.
That's something for us to look forward to. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Hello, you may have noticed it felt a little milder on Tuesday. It'll feel warmer still on Wednesday. High pressure building in, warmer air moving in, the jet stream retreating northwards. It is settling down. By the way, make a mental note of the position of this jet stream. It's important later on in the forecast. Don't worry, there's not a quiz, but it will look familiar when we take a look at next week's weather. But for now, we've established that it is settling down, it's turning warmer, but reigning the expectations when it comes to sunshine, just as we saw on Tuesday. The next few days will have a lot of cloud, clearly showing up on the chart here for Wednesday. Still a bit of rain.